Hello and assalamu alaikum guys. This is Ali and today is the day on which I will share how I passed my practical driving test here in the UK in first attempt. So I've divided this video into two parts. The first part would be the fundamentals of practical driving tests in the UK and the second would be the tips and tricks I used to pass practical driving test here in the UK. So if you are a person who is either preparing for the practical test or thinking for the theory test or whatever, these tips might help you to pass the theory test. So if you're a person who is taking lessons for the practical driving test or is preparing for the theory test, this video is 100% for you, because to pass the practical driving test in first attempt, if it helped me to pass the practical driving test in first attempt, it can help you as well. So without any further ado, let's hop on to the video. First part would be the facts about practical driving test. You have to pass this practical driving test in order to get your official full UK driving license, because this is the last step to get the license. For the first step is to get the provisional license. If you have already got your provisional license, then you go and apply for theory test. Once you are passed in your theory test, then you can apply for practical driving test. So if you are in the stage of getting the provisional license and you don't know how to do it, I have already uploaded a different video explaining how you can do it from your laptop, from your computer, or from your phone as well. I have also uploaded a theory test video in which I have explained everything in detail, how you can pass your theory test in first attempt. So without further ado, let's hop onto the video. First part is about the fundamentals. It is really important to pass the practical driving test in order to get your official full UK driving license. And if you fail, you will get another chance, and you can there is a limit. You can apply it, you can reapply for it within like 2 months, 3 months, if you get the date, which is really hard to get. I will make another video in which I will explain how you can get the dates earlier as compared to the normal official UK dates, right? So the practical driving test has the duration of 30 to 40 minutes roughly, depending on the route of your test and your examiner. So the test includes independent driving, following the road signs. Either the examiner will give you the directions or will tell you to follow the sat nav. It will also include one maneuver and possibly an emergency stop. So you have to keep this in your mind that these are the stages of practical driving test. In the whole of 30 minutes to 40 minutes, he won't just say, oh, drive freely. He will make sure that these points are covered in your test. So the passing criteria is very simple. Make sure you don't make serious or dangerous mistake. Make sure you don't make minor mistakes. So if you make more than 15 minor mistakes, then you are failed. So imagine you have to make 15 minor mistakes in order to fail the driving test. Imagine how hard it is for you to understand, for you to believe, for me to believe, because I didn't know that. When I was doing research for a YouTube video, I found out that you have to make 15 or more mistakes, minor mistakes, in order to fail the driving test. I'm not surprised when people say, oh, we've failed the test for 2 times, 3 times, because we as human beings and like normal human beings don't give attention to detail, give small things the attention that they deserve, and examiner is looking for those small and minor things. So this was the first part, the fundamentals of the practical driving test, and the second part is the tips and tricks that I use to pass the practical test in first attempt. So number one thing, be there on time and make sure you are there before the examiner. Examiners here in the UK or anywhere else in the UK don't like if you are late. So make sure you're on time, and as soon as you see the examiner, because he will call your name, make sure you go to him and greet him in a proper way. Don't be over friendly, too friendly, because it will give weird vibes. Just be nice and be respectful to him. And if you can, thank him for being here for the test. I made sure he called my name. I went there, I smiled, and I shook his hand and asked him how he's doing, and just some small talk would be okay. But don't be over friendly. That can give red flags to the examiner. The main idea that you have to focus while driving and while giving the test is you have to prove that you are a safe driver. You have to prove that you are a safe driver. So imagine being in examiner's place and examiner is sitting with a stranger who is giving the test, all you would expect from the driver is to prove that he's a safe driver. So you can do it by, proving that you are aware of your surroundings. When you are moving, you are making sure that you are checking all the blind spots. Some people over exaggerate these, blind spot checking, and you might have seen that meme in which the person is doing like this, which is weird. Don't do this. Just make sure you are moving your head around in a normal way, because sometimes when the instructor is watching you, he might miss you watching the blind spots, because some people would do it like this, right? This is not a good thing. And even if you're driving and if you want to take a turn, make sure follow, make sure you are giving indicator and then looking in the mirror, looking in back mirror, side mirror. So you can also do it by just moving your keeping your head straight and doing like this. I won't recommend, because you have to show and prove that you are a good driver, you are a safe driver. So make sure any maneuver, any action, you make sure you are showing him that you are noticing your surrounding. And this is the most important part, which is to prove that you are a safe driver. No matter how pro you are in driving, okay, no matter you have driven for 7 years, for 10 years in your home country, India, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Karachi, from wherever you have been driving since you were born. Doesn't matter. Take driving tests, because roads are not same in your home country and here. Roads are different, rules are different. People follow rule here, people follow rules here, and you get a ticket, you get a speeding ticket. Back in Pakistan, there's no such thing. There's no such thing as lane discipline, roundabout discipline. Let's not go there. So make sure taking classes, no matter how many times you have been driving, even if you are driving on international license here in the UK, make sure you at least get 5 to 10 classes. This would be a brotherly advice to you, because one of my friends called me like an year ago when I was preparing for my driving test. He called me, "Oh, I've been driving to my, international driving. I've been driving on my international license, and I have just passed the theory test. Now I'm, giving the practical test." And I was like, "Have you taken the classes?" He was like, "Oh, bro, why are you, insulting me? I've been driving here in the UK for 2 years. You don't know me and stuff." I was like, "Bro, still, I mean, knowing how to drive and passing the practical tests are two different things. If you have passed, or if you have failed, you should know that. These are two different things. People can drive in the UK for 10 years, yet they might get failed in practical driving tests, because practical driving tests is a whole another scenario. You have to prove to the examiner that you're a safe driver. He don't know that you have been driving here in the UK for 10 years. You have to show, you have to prove, you know and most of the old drivers, I'm not judging anyone, but most of the Uber drivers, most of the old drivers would not care about rules. They sometimes break rules. They sometimes overtake in a wrong lane, and they don't indicate and stuff like that. That is okay after you pass the driving test. Okay, I'm not suggesting, or I'm not promoting that you should pass the driving test and go beast mode. But even if you know how to drive, take the driving license. Even if you know how to drive, take driving lessons. Fourth point would be, make sure your examiner sees your decisions, sees your, that you are checking the mirrors, that you're checking the back mirror after if you're driving on a main road or a highway or anywhere. Make sure you're after every 3 to 4 seconds, you are checking the mirrors. It is not compulsory, but it will prove that you are trying your level best to be aware of your surroundings. I did the same thing because my instructor told me to do so. And I think it's a really good idea to show that you are, checking the mirrors continuously. Don't be like over checking, like you're missing the main road. Just after 3 seconds, just move your head, in a casual way, while making sure that you are also aware of your front. I remember when I was checking my surroundings after 3 to 4 seconds, he was writing something in his diary or something on our iPad or whatever it was. So I'm sure it is a good thing, right? So the quote goes like, a bad driver will never miss a turn. If you have taken the lessons, if you have passed the test or you're preparing for the test, you should know what this quote means. The only thing which will differentiate you from an unsafe driver is your decision making skills in this scenario. For example, you have to turn right from a roundabout, and technically you should be either in the middle lane or either on the right lane. Yeah. And the instructor and the examiner tells you to take a right turn from the roundabout, right? So technically you will be either on the right hand lane or in the middle if the arrows are, explaining themselves. So let's say if you are far left on the roundabout, right? If on the start of roundabout you end up on the left side and you have to turn right. So a bad driver will try his best to, um, merge in to like keep on turn on his indicator and slowly try to move onto the other lane. So if you're doing that, make sure you're not doing this. Okay, if you miss a turn, not a big deal. If you miss a turn, like for example in this scenario, if you land up on a left hand lane, make sure you either tell the examiner that sorry, I'm in the wrong lane. If it's okay, can I take this exit and then take a u-turn and come back, and he'll be happy. The instructor, the examiner will be happy that you are a safe driver. It's not safe to merge from left to right in the middle of the roundabout, right? He will mark you in a good way that he's a good decision maker and he's a safe driver. So same goes for if you have to take an exit from a highway and you are on the right hand lane and you figured out that you are too late to take the exit. The best thing would be to keep going in the straight line and make sure you slowly come to the left hand lane and then left hand lane, and then make sure you tell the examiner that I apologize that I missed the turn, and then he will again figure out that he's a safe driver. He knows that it's not safe to just merge and not miss an exit, which is literally what this quote says. A bad driver will never miss a turn. Make sure you have this in your mind, and even if it's a zebra crossing, or this applies to all the scenarios in hazard perception, it applies in the MCQs as well, it applies in your practical driving tests as well. So make sure you keep this in mind, and every decision you make sure that a bad driver will never miss a bad turn or wrong turn. So this was all that I wanted to cover in this entire video. I hope this was helpful. If it was helpful, please make sure you let me know in the comments, like this video and share this video with your family, friends, or your senior, junior, whoever it is who is either planning to give the theory test, either planning for the practical test. It will be really helpful for me. Thank you and see you guys later.